Samsung is a South Korean company. It is a private conglomerate and is the largest in South Korea. It was founded in 1938, 85 years ago in Daegu City of Japanese Korea. Samsung was founded by Lee Byung-chul. Lee Byung-chul was from a wealthy land-owning Korean family. He was a college dropout, but was one of the most successful businessmen in South Korea. Other company founded by him is the CJ Group. The following are the subsidiaries owned by Samsung Group. Initially in 1938, Samsung Group was started as a trucking business and was named as Samsung Trading Co. Samsung is a Korean word meaning 3 stars in English. The name was chosen to represent a vision, powerful and everlasting like the stars in the sky. The initial logo of the company also had 3 stars in it. This is Samsung Town, the information technology and electronics hub of Samsung located in Seoko District, Seoul City, South Korea. Have you ever wondered how big Samsung is? Let us take a look. In 1938, Samsung was started as a small trading company. Initially the company had only 40 employees and they traded dried fish, locally grown groceries and noodles. In 1947, after the company had grown, the head office was moved to Seoul. But when the Korean War broke out, Lee Byung-chul was forced to move out of Seoul. In 1947, Lee Byung-chul and the founder of Hyosung Group Cho Hong-jae jointly invested in a company named Samsung Trading Corporation. After a few years they separated due to differences in management styles and now the company is known by the name Samsung C&T Corporation. In 1952, Samsung Fire and Marine Insurance was established, a multinational general insurance company. Today it is the largest provider of general insurance in South Korea. In 1954, Lee Byung-chul started the textile company, Cheilmojik, which manufactured woolen fabrics, which was later merged with Samsung C&T Corporation. In 1955, Lee Byung-chul founded the company named Cheiljedang. It was a sugar and flour mill. Now it is called as the CJ Group, serving in industries like food, pharmaceutics, entertainment media, home shopping and logistics. The following are the subsidiaries of the CJ Group. In late 1960s, Samsung entered the electronics industry. It formed the several companies such as Samsung Electronics Devices, Samsung Electromechanics, Samsung Corning and Samsung Semiconductor and Telecommunications. In 1969, Samsung Electric Industries was established in Suwon, South Korea. As Samsung did not have any expertise in the electronics industry, they established a joint venture named Samsung Sanyo Electric with the Japanese companies Sanyo and Sumitomo Corporation for manufacturing products like televisions, calculators, refrigerators, air conditioners, and washing machines. In 1970, Samsung launched their first black and white TV, named P3202, with a 12-inch screen. In 1969, Samsung Engineering was established, a multinational construction company, involving in activities like construction of oil refining plants, upstream oil and gas facilities, petrochemical plants and gas plants, steel making plants, power plants, water treatment facilities and other infrastructure. In 1970, Samsung established a joint venture named Samsung NEC, with the Japanese company, NEC Corporation, to manufacture home appliances and audiovisual devices. Samsung NEC later became Samsung SDI, which was Samsung's display and battery manufacturing company. In 1973, Lee Byung-chul established Cheil Communications, an advertising agency, now it is called as Cheil Worldwide. Their major clients include Adidas, Absolut Vodka, the Coca-Cola Company, GE, General Motors, the Lego Group, Microsoft, Nestlé, and Shell. In 1973, Samsung and Sanyo created the company named Samsung Sanyo Parts, which was the predecessor of Samsung Electromechanics. In 1974, Samsung entered the semiconductor business by acquiring Korea Semiconductor. The company took over the semiconductor business and was named as Samsung Semiconductor and Communication. In 1974, Samsung Heavy Industries was established, a shipbuilding and engineering company working in areas like bulk carriers, container vessels, crude oil tankers, cruises, passenger ferries, material handling equipment, steel and bridge structures. In 1983, Samsung launched SPC 1000, their first computer. It was Z80-based personal computer. It had a HU-basic operating system written by Hudson Soft. The computer featured a 4 MHz processor and 64 KB of RAM. In 1983, Samsung announced its intentions of becoming DRAM vendor. 1 year later, the company successfully developed a 64 KB DRAM. In 1985, Samsung Data Systems was established, an information technology service company. Now it is called as Samsung SDS Company Limited. In 1987, after Lee Byung-chul passed away, the Samsung Group was separated into 5 independent business groups: the Samsung Group, Shinsegae Group, CJ Group, Hansel Group and the Jungang Group. In 1988, Samsung Electric Industries was merged with Samsung Semiconductor and Communications to form Samsung Electronics. In 1988, Samsung Electronics launched its first mobile phone in the South Korean market. Sales were initially poor and the company had frequent discussions on exiting the business. At that time, Motorola held a market share of over 60% in the country's mobile phone market, compared to just 10% for Samsung. In 1992, Samsung became the world's largest producer of memory chips, and the world's second largest chipmaker after Intel. In 1994, Samsung Motors was established with technical assistance from Nissan. They started selling cars in 1998, and in 2000, Samsung Motors was sold to Renault. In 1994, Samsung Medical Center (SMC) was founded. The SMC is composed of Samsung Seoul Hospital, Kangguk Samsung Hospital, Samsung Changwon Hospital, and Samsung Life Sciences Research Center. In 1997, Samsung was left unharmed compared to other major Korean companies in the Asian financial crisis. From 1980s to 1990, Samsung manufactured a range of aircrafts. In 1999, it was merged with Korea Aerospace Industries (KAI). However, Samsung still manufactures aircraft engines and gas turbines. During this period, Samsung was the first mass producers of NAND drives, sized from 1 GB to 64 GB in the consecutive years. In 1998, Samsung Life Investment Trust Management was founded, an asset management company. Today it is called as Samsung Asset Management. In 2004, Samsung Display was the world's largest OLED manufacturer, producing 40% of the OLED displays in the world. Samsung was one of the early investors in research and development of OLED technology. In 2005, Samsung Electronics surpassed its Japanese rival, Sony, for the first time to become the world's 20th largest and most popular consumer brand. In 2006, Samsung held more than 600 American patents, and more than 2,800 international patents, making it the largest owner of AMOLED technology patents. In 2006, Samsung and Sony started a joint venture named SLCD for manufacturing large-sized TFT LCDs, as Sony had not invested in the technology. Later in 2011, Samsung completely acquired the joint venture. In 2007, Samsung Electronics became the world's second largest smartphone manufacturer, overtaking Motorola for the first time. In 2009, Samsung achieved total revenues of $117.4 billion, overtaking Hewlett-Packard to become the world's largest technology company measured by sales. In 2009, Samsung launched its first smartphone, Samsung GTI 7500 Galaxy, running Android operating system, version 1.5 Cupcake. In 2011, Samsung launched Exynos 4210, their first smartphone processor. In 2011, Samsung Biologics was established, a biopharmaceutical division of Samsung, developing and manufacturing drug substance and bioanalytical testing services. Samsung Biologics built 3 manufacturing plants, with a capacity of more than 360,000 liters from 2011 to 2018, making it the world's largest contract-based manufacturer in the biopharmaceutical sector at a single site by the year 2018. In 2011, Samsung Electronics sold its HDD commercial operations to Seagate Technology, for approximately $1.4 billion. In 2012, Samsung Electronics became the world's largest mobile phone maker by unit sales, overtaking Nokia, which had been the market leader since 1998. In 2015, Samsung has been granted more US patents than any other company including IBM, Google, Sony, Microsoft and Apple. The company received 7,679 utility patents by the end of that year. In 2016, Samsung acquired Viv, an intelligent personal assistant software, created by the developers of Siri. In 2017, Samsung acquired Harman, an American audio electronics company. In 2018, Samsung established the world's largest mobile manufacturing facility, in Noida, Uttar Pradesh, India. Started as a food trading company, now Samsung has become a technology giant, with its footprints in all kinds of business.